And welcome back to the Morning Drill on this Thursday morning. We welcome Crawford County Commissioner Francis Weiderspahn Jr. Good morning, sir. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Been a little while.
Yeah, it has been.
I know last time we talked to a commissioner, that was Christopher Soff, and he said, don't interview any of the other commissioners, only me. But
well, you'll have that from time to time.
So, listen, there's a line of people up in the hall who are going to audition for the Hungarian translator that you're looking for.
Well, I appreciate you finding those. That's certainly a lot closer than out in the middle of Ohio where they're talking about getting one from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But luckily, they can do it by phone. So.
I want to return this court case. It is scratched.
So, first of all, congratulations. The building is open.
Yep, it's open, and official dedication is the 15th of August at 10 o'clock in courtroom 1. So, and headaches aren't all over yet, but we're getting there.
Obviously, there's a lot obviously to get the building up and going, but once everything is running, yeah, you got to go through and kind of make a list. Okay, maybe this needs worked on, or we got to fix this, but for the most part, everything's come together.
Yeah, it's come together real good. There's been, a few things that had been tweaked here or there, or some adjustments made, but
what's it been?
We are on time, so that's pretty amazing.
What's it been like for you to see this from concept to the design to actually going into the building?
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like watching the development of a child, from birth right on up through, and I guess maybe now we're at the teenage stage where we're ready to open the doors and it's on its own.
You're afraid to hand the keys over.
Well, some days I'm glad to give them over. So,
have you noticed a difference in the courthouse itself in terms of offices being moved? Is there a little bit of some room in there?
Yeah, there's certainly some room. Certainly room in the hallways. Second floor is basically empty. The sheriff from the third floor, he's out of there pretty soon. They were hoping to move this week, but I think next week Greg Keenan and his minor court office will be moving. But courtroom 2 and 3, actually they're moving this week. They're about done now, so it's certainly a lot quieter, a lot less traffic coming through. I was talking to our security yesterday afternoon, and I was there for 10, 15 minutes, and there certainly weren't quite the number of people going through as usual, but they were at 3:30. They were around 211 people coming through the courthouse. So it was still more than I thought there was. But,
yeah. So what's next? Is there talk about renovating the courthouse now, or what's going on with that?
Well, we know we want to look at certainly the windows and the heating system. Single pane glass. In the wintertime, my back gets pretty cold with the air coming through. But and as we've always heard, it's been said many times, some places you're freezing, some places you're cooking in the wintertime. But those for sure. But we're going to look at, now that the space that has opened up, who can maybe move around and get a little more space and maybe bring some offices back in. But that'll be what we'll be working on as far as the building itself. We are hoping to tear the old jail down and a couple houses that we bought diagonally across from the new building to build hopefully a parking deck. So we hope to do those yet this fall and get started on it. Waiting on the permits. We just got those started here this week. So
will that clean up some of the traffic congestion around the Diamond?
Yeah, it'll help a lot with getting the parking from off-street parking for employees. When we're done, we should have enough parking for all the employees.
Oh, wow.
So that'll open up on Diamond. Although, compared to what it was for a year and a half with all the construction workers, especially about the last 6 months when there was a lot of different crews in there, it's not bad around there. You can generally find a place at the Diamond to park.
You're not going to change the parking around the Diamond to match like what Waterford's doing, are you?
No plans on our part. Now, you'd have to talk to the city of Meadville about that one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was through there last night, and it was like, I don't know. I think it's crazy, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's good to get some of that parking cleaned up. Hey, this is a pretty busy time. I mean, you're dealing with this. You're trying to get people moved over to the new facility, and then you've got this. I know it's like, what is it? A festival coming up at the fairgrounds or something?
Yeah, Like
a little
week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
A little thing up there. What's that called?
Just the biggest agricultural fair in the state of PA.
That's what it is. Yes,
That one.
Yes, the Crawford County Fair. This is such an exciting time for folks. You know, Mark and Mark brings this up all the time where, you know, there's certain things that city councilmen do or city managers or commissioners that people don't get to, you know, see, touch, feel. They just hear about it or they don't pay attention to it. But the fair is one of those things that people actually get to experience. And as you say, I mean, this is a pretty big fair.
It is. Be around the 80,000 people. The paid attendants come through the gate. Of course, that doesn't count exhibitors and concessionaires and, you know, younger children that don't have to pay to go through there. So yeah, it's a big 8-day event, and everybody looks forward to it. You're tired when the week's over, but then you start planning for the one for next year. So
yeah, but the excitement leading up to it. I mean, people take vacations just to be at the fair for the week. That, you know, it's almost, you know, a family reunion / class reunion / you know, whatever. But it's a big event for folks.
Sure, you see people at the Crawford County Fair. That's probably about the only time you see them until next year.
People talk a lot about the food and, you know, the rides and the entertainment, but one of the big aspects of it is the youth and their involvement in 4-H. Does that excite you to see how many kids are still taking an interest?
Yeah, you know, 4-H is a great program. My wife and I, we both went through 4-H. Her a little longer than I did, because once I got into high school and started playing sports, I had to make a choice between football or showing cows. But you know, it's a great program for developing youth. You know, that's where a lot of our leaders from tomorrow is going to be coming from. And you know, they learn leadership skills at various offices that they hold, and interaction with working with other, not even within their own club, but countywide with other clubs and statewide activities they can be involved in. So, you know, it's a great program for developing youth. And, you know, like I just heard just the other day on the program on TV, idle hands and people get in trouble, and keep them busy and you can develop a young mind. And 4-H does that.
Well, what's so much fun is we get to go out and talk with some of these folks in the barns around the fair, and I'm always amazed at their willingness to talk about what they're doing and what animal they're showing and the work that goes into that. I mean, these are folks that are not afraid of, you know, sharing how they've gotten to where they're at and what they need to do next and what their dreams and aspirations are. These are fun folks to talk with, you know, smart, articulate, and what have you. So you're right. You know, you keep these young people busy, and you get good results.
Yeah, certainly you do. And you know, that's 1 week of the year that agriculture has a chance to be a showcase for the public that maybe don't know where their groceries come from, or where their meat or milk or whatever that they're consuming on their kitchen table. That this is our opportunity to educate the public and put a good face to agriculture for them to remember and think about as they go on through their lives.
Any major changes to the fairgrounds this year?
Nothing real major this year. Back about this November, December at one of the fair board meetings, Steve Scott, our county maintenance director, and I both kindly let the fair board know that our county staff wasn't going to be available this year to do work up to the fairgrounds like they normally do. Some of the smaller projects, putting roofs on buildings, or you know, some minor remodeling, because they've been busy all summer moving these various offices in the new judicial center, because we've been moving one office a week starting in the end of June. So, and they've been building shelves even before that for storage over there rather than buying them, and we can do that a lot better. We have some talented crew on our maintenance staff, so we've been taking advantage of that to save some money and get this move as smooth as possible. But they're up there now doing the finishing touches and prettying things up.
And a lot of people don't know that the fairgrounds are used more than just the 1 week out of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been pretty busy all summer up there.
Yeah, really, use at the fairgrounds starts about the month of May. There's usually a few things in April, a tree sale and sometimes a cattle sale. But from May right on through till mid to the end of September, and once in a while a few things in October, there's not too many weekends there isn't at least one event up there, and quite often you'll have 2 or 3 things going on. So
now, if somebody
it
wanted
does get used.
if somebody wanted to rent it for a child's birthday party or a bar mitzvah or something, would you offer that to them?
Sure, we've done those kind of things.
Okay.
Just call the county
Really?
commissioner's office, and
I was joking, but
no, we've offered that. We've had people
Really?
talk to us about wedding receptions, and the other thing is you can't have alcohol up there. That's a stipulation on the fairgrounds, but
Huh. That would be interesting. Have you hosted any wedding receptions up there?
we had a couple inquiries since I've been there. Nobody has, but every once in a while somebody asks. We've hosted company picnics and county. We had a couple picnics up there. Actually, the ICC in Meadville is going to have a picnic up there in September. So those kind of things do happen.
Very nice. Okay, I see Mark here. I was just joking, being stupid, and
You didn't know how smart you were.
I know. Yeah, I'm thinking, well, I'll have to pitch that if one of our kids want to have a birthday party.
Sure.
We'll do it up at the fairgrounds. 8:50 is our time. This is the morning drill. All right, so we're coming into fair season, but we're also coming into fall projects and winter time. So what are you guys working on behind the scenes right now?
Well, just wrapping up things at the Woodcock Lake Park. And you probably heard we did some repairs to the water tank up there this spring. We weren't able to open the park until just about the week before Memorial Day. And
well, summer didn't start till July, so
well,
okay.
It really didn't, but but we have to drain it shortly after Labor Day, and so we can get it painted inside. There wasn't time to coat the inside, or if we didn't get the right drying, we weren't going to be open Memorial Day weekend, and
Ooh.
that's one of 2 or 3 big weekends we have out at the park where we're generally full and overflowing. But so we got that going on, and then just a normal wind down, like up at the fairgrounds, getting water lines drained and button up for winter. And of course, starting in November, we have storage space up there for RVs, campers, boats, cars, that vintage cars, that kind of thing that people store up there. That goes on. So
I'm sure you get to see the numbers of all the visitors that come into the county. And where they're coming from. I base that off of the sign at Hanks. Mm-hmm. What states have been visiting, but there's a lot of visitors that come into Crawford County.
Yeah, there certainly is, and like you said earlier, people use the fair as a reunion, and they plan their vacations to come back to the Crawford County Fair. It's a fond childhood memory, and they want to share it with their children or grandchildren, and that's a great thing. So, we get people from all over coming in to visit. And once in a while, we get a few to stay.
Concert tickets still available? How can they get them?
Still available. They can call the commissioner's office to get those, 333-7400, or they can call up the fair office. That number I don't know right off the top of my head, but either place you can get concert tickets. And they're still available for all the concerts, but they are selling daily.
Now, what about admission tickets? Can they wait to get them at the gate? Can they get them in advance?
They can get those in advance. If they're in Meadville and want to run up to the fairgrounds, they started on Tuesday, August 1st. They have staff up there at the fair office that you can go and buy your exhibitor's passes or just your regular public gate pass, as well as they're available at the courthouse as well in the commissioner's office.
Some of the acts include Straight No Chaser. A lot of folks would recognize them from their version of the 12 Days of Christmas, so
yeah.
They're coming to the fair. And, of course, you can go to CrawfordCountyFairPA.com to see the complete lineup and all the activities. On a pretty serious note, there was just an incident a couple weeks ago in Ohio at one of their fairs where somebody was killed on a ride. Do you guys do anything to just ensure that the rides and the vendors are safe and they're operating safe rides at this fair?
Yeah, we do. The rides sometimes start getting set up as much as a week ahead of time. And we have our TJS, which is our insurance company affiliate, that they actually come up the Wednesday before the fair, and they'll come that first Saturday of the fair and inspect the rides and make any recommendations, as well as the food vendors, and look for propane tanks, make sure they're fastened correctly, make sure the rides are set up and in a safe manner, and so they do that Wednesday, and before the fair and that first Saturday of the fair. So they come up and do all that. And the ride company we've had the last year is great. They do an excellent job taking care of the rides. Last year they moved in over a week ahead, and they were up there working on those rides.
I was going to say, last year was the first year you brought this new group in.
Yeah, they're out of Ohio.
And it seemed like, I hate to say it this way, but it just seemed cleaner. It was nice.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Last year my wife and I were remodeling a camper we had bought, and we were working on it right there at the fairgrounds, and they moved in, and they had their campers for the staff to work on. And my wife was actually a little concerned at first because they were right behind our camper. She thought, oh boy, because you know what everybody's stereotype is of carnival workers, but they were very pleasant. They were courteous. They actually went to bed earlier at night than we did working on the camper. We probably kept them up. And even Fair Week, when they ride shut down, they go and they maybe fix themselves something to eat, and they go in their campers, and you don't hear anything in the middle of the night. They were very well, and the owners and some of their managers were camping right in there amongst them, so they keep an eye on them as well. So they were great.
In fact, it was so noticeable last year. I actually asked for an application. They hired me for about a month. I was guessing people's weight and spreading the pixie dust on the tilt-a-whirl, but it didn't last long. I came right back to this show, but no, it was just very nice.
Yep. Yeah, they're a great family operation that runs this, and they actually build and design rides for other ride companies in their facility out in Ohio. So, and you can look at their rides and see if they're well maintained and taken care of. And
I saw
not just paint, but paint and lights are all on there, and they switch their workers every so many hours to give them a break, and they're very courteous. And I don't know how you could find anybody even better.
Well, Mark, did you have a question before I?
No.
Okay,
No,
I was going to say there's some folks here who just want to make sure that you also mention that there is free Wi-Fi available at on the fairgrounds.
Yeah, and that's very much appreciated that they do that. So,
well, we're talking about Armstrong. They've been up there. I think Pat's been up there for about 3 months, staying every night, making sure that every inch of that place is covered.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's nothing. Francis is going to transfer his entire office there during the week of the fair.
People.
Well, we are up there from about noon on every day.
Yeah, but people think you are. But we've heard from you guys in the past. No, we have to be at the courthouse. We have work we have to do. We try to make it up as much as possible. But
yeah, we're at the courthouse every day in the morning, and usually till about noon, and then we head up there to walk around the fairgrounds so people can talk to us or we can talk to them. And the Fair Board has a Fair Board meeting every day, the fair around 2 o'clock, so we're able to go to that. So, yeah, we canceled, I shouldn't say canceled, postponed the normal meeting the week before the fair because there's meetings all day that Wednesday before the fair, so we pushed it back. We do have a meeting that Wednesday of the fair, but by noon we'll be up there.
And that is a nice thing, especially for any public official. This is such a chance to just get out and talk with folks on a casual basis. We see it all the time when we're there. You probably hear, well, you do. You hear all kinds of things, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. But,
well, sure, some of that.
But it is a chance for folks to maybe get to see you outside of the office, that on occasion where they might not be able to do that.
Sure. Not everybody can get into Meadville and come in the courthouse 8:30 to 4:30. So when you're out there walking around the fairgrounds or going through the barns or whatever, people come up to you. And
you can also tell when it's the hot political season because all the politicians are up there.
Well, I've heard a lot of people saying, I think they're right, the kickoff of the fall political season,
absolutely,
at least for Crawford County, is the Crawford County Fair.
It is.
Go under the grandstand, you'll find out. Both ends.
Francis Weiderspahn Jr. joining us this morning. Great to see you. We'll probably see you at the fair. What's the food item you have to have when you're there?
Well, as always, the last thing I have to get before I go to my camper at night is the ice cream at the dairy committee booth right there by the dairy barns.
That
If
sounds
I can't
good.
get that, I'm a sad camper that night.
Oh boy, that sounds good. I'll take the pie at the
Well,
the Methodist Church there.
That's not a bad thing either.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Mark, what'd you learn today?
That apparently you're a pixie dust expert.
Yes, on the tilt-a-whirl. Mr. Commissioner, what did you learn today?
Well, as always, it's always great to be down here in Titusville, and the thing I really was excited about coming down here was being able to be here early and hear about the new project here in town.
Yeah, the Gateway Project. That's going to be pretty cool.
That is pretty interesting and fantastic and great for Titusville and the area, and wonderful to see people so excited and getting behind a project like that. That was great.
All right. Good to see you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good.
All righty. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Daybreak News and the Morning Drill. Have a great Thursday, everybody.